All right, this is going to be the SAT practice test number 3. So let's get started. Section 3. Here we go. A painter will paint n walls. So n is the number of walls. K is a constant with dollars per square foot unit, whatever the hell that means. L is the length. H is the height. Okay, cool. If the customer asks the painter to use more expensive brand of paint, which of the following expression will change? Well, more expensive means something about the dollar values, but if you take a look, L is the length, so it's got nothing to do with the dollars. H is the height, nothing to do with the dollars. N is the number of walls, nothing to do with the dollars. But if you look at the K, well, they say K is something constant that has dollars per square foot, something to do with the dollars. That's why K is going to change. Number 2, 3 R's is 18, 6R plus 3 is what? So you're not really solving for R, just multiply by 2's on both sides and you get 6R is equal to 36. So put that shit right there. 36 plus 3, that's a 39. Number 3, which of the following is equivalent to that? So it's out of 3 on the denominator, so it's going to be out of a cubic root. You have a square inside, answer choice D. Number 4, the number of states that joined the United States between 1776 and 1849. So 1776 and 1849, that shit is twice the number of states that joined between 1850 and 1900. So if 30 states join the United States between that, so that's be 30 right there, and then 2, and then X joins states between 1850 and 1900, so that'll be X right there, and that basically is just this shit right there. Next, number 5. So cross multiply, you get 15x is equal to 5 times x plus 20. Distribute that shit. 15x is equal to 5x plus 100. Subtract 5x on both sides. You get 10x is equal to 100. Divide by 10s on both sides, and you get 10. And then you put that shit back in there. Please don't put 10 like, oh man, why would you do that? So put 10 over there. 10 divided by 5, that's a 2. Don't put freaking 10. Number 6. XY is a solution. What is the value of x minus y? I'm too lazy to solve it for the fucking x and y and plug shit back in. You don't need to do that shit. If you guys take a look at this, you see the 2x, 3x, 3y, 2y. Just add this shit and see what you get. You get 5x minus 5y is equal to negative 20. Oh, divide by 5 on all of it. So you get x minus 5, y is equal to negative 4. Boom, done. Easy, right? Takes super short. You just got to know what the hell you're doing. They're asking for x minus y. Solve for x minus y, not x and y. Number 7, too lazy to read that shit. Which of the following must be a factor? Well, you're basically talking about 0, which happens right there when x is equal to 4, y is equal to 0. The fact that x is equal to 4 is a 0 probably indicates that x minus 4 should have been a factor. Answer choice C. There's no other 0, right? And then number 8, we have this line right here, and then the line contains a point CD. So C is the x and D is the y. What is the slope of the line? Slope is that K shit. Okay, so let's solve it. So y is equal to kx plus 4, but instead of y, we're going to put D because that's what the y is, and then kc plus 4. We're solving for this k, so subtract 4 on both sides. And you get D minus 4 is equal to KC. Go ahead and divide by C's on both sides, and there you have it. D minus 4 over C, which is answer choice A. Number 9, in the system of equations above, whatever. For a value of K, will the system of equations have no solution? So you want no solution, meaning you want the equations, the two equations to never meet. Well, graphically speaking, you're talking about two lines that are parallel. They'll never meet with each other because they have a different y-intercept. Or just fucking make them into a algebraic equations. They're not going to make any sense. What the fuck do you mean by that? Well, if I multiply the top one by 5 and multiply the bottom by 3, wait, Steven, why the hell did you do that? Well, because then you get 5kx minus 15y on the top, and that's equal to 20. And on the bottom, you get 12x minus 15y is equal to 21. First of all, I want you to notice that we have nice little matching minus 15y. And then also that 20 and 21, they're different. And I like that because I don't want them to be the same. If they were the same, so we're talking about two exactly identical equations, that would be called infinitely many solutions, not no solution, right? I actually want them to equal something different so that they're never going to meet. In terms of the graphical senses, I can just we can say that we're looking at two lines that have the same slope but different y-intercept. Or just algebraically speaking, the same fucking x's, the same fucking y's, say they're equal to something different. No solution. So what do you want now? All you want is that 5kx to just be the same thing as the 12x. So 5kx is equal to 12x. So cancel the fucking x's, divide by 5s on both sides, and there you have it. K is equal to 12 over 5. Answer choice A. Number 10. In the xy plane, parabola, you got that, intersects that. Okay, so x minus 11 squared is equal to 25. They intersect. What is the value of AB? Okay, so let's find them. Square root both sides, x minus 11 is equal to plus or minus 5. So you got that x minus 11 is equal to 5. You got that x minus 11 is equal to negative 5. So if you add 11 on both sides, you get x is equal to 16 here. If you add 11 here on both sides, you get x is equal to 6 here. So between 16 and 6, the distance is 10. Answer choice A. Number 11, figuring out drawn to scale. We have, well, what we know for sure is x and t have to be the same no matter what. Figuring out drawn to scale, I don't give a shit because they're vertical angles. They have to be the same. The same goes with the y and the u. They have to be the same because, you know, vertical angles. And then w and z, of course, vertical angles. So they give you x plus y is equal to u plus w, which of the following must be true. So if you look at Roman number 1, basically you can just replace that shit. X plus y is equal to u plus w. So I'm doing this Roman number 1 right now. And x is already there, but z is not there right now. But if you look at it, z is basically the same thing as w because they're vertical angles. So instead of the w right here, I'll replace that shit with the z. So basically, if you want to prove that Roman number 1 is correct, meaning like x and z are the same, then what you must prove is that y and u are the same. And are they? Indeed, because they're freaking vertical angles. So this one has to be true. Okay, Roman number 2 now. So same thing, x plus y is equal to u plus w. What they want to prove is that y is equal to w, which means if these two are to be the same, then you would need to prove that x and u are the same. And if you take a look at that shit, they are not vertical angles. So you can't say that for sure. They look like it, but do you trust it? No, because that's why it fucking says figure not drawn to scale. So you can't say that for sure, which is why that's out. And then lastly, let's do one more round. So once again, x plus y is equal to u plus w. I don't fucking see z or t, but let's replace it in, right? So for z, it's actually right there, vertical angle with w, so I can replace that z right there. And then t is the vertical angle with x, so I can replace the x with the t. And then basically it becomes this. So once again, we go back to the idea. If you want to prove that z is equal to t, so if you want to prove these two are the same, then you must prove that y is equal to u. And indeed, y is equal to u. We already proved that shit. They were vertical angles. So that is true. So that's cool. So 1 and 3 only. Answer choice B. Number 12. Quadratic, whatever, equation the xy plane, parabola with the vertex C and D, which of the following is equal to D. Well, first of all, it's a parabola, so it's perfectly symmetrical. So the two zeros you get, x is equal to 2 and x is equal to negative 4. Well, your vertex, the x coordinate of the vertex would have to be right down in the middle of those two. So if you got something like 2 here and then negative 4 here, then it would have to be right in the middle at negative 1. How do you get that? Negative 4 plus 2 divided by 2. So that's how I get negative 1. So the x is negative 1. So what do? Put that shit back in over there where the x is. So y is equal to 8 times negative 1 minus 2, negative 1 plus 4. So that would be 8 times negative 3 times 3, which is negative 9a. Answer choice A. Next, number 13. Alright, goddamn long, but I'll just be like, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and multiply this whole thing by ax minus 2. And then so I'll cancel that, and that will also cancel, and I just got to distribute that shit, right? I'm really not going to like... Well, I mean, I'll write it here, but you really shouldn't have to write all this shit because I'll show you a point. What basically ends up happening is you have this that's being multiplied by ax minus 2 and then minus 53. So why the fuck would you pay attention to everything? Because all you gotta just look at the very leading term. That negative 8x and the ax together better give you that 24x. So basically 24x squared is equal to negative 8x times ax. So just cancel all the x's. 24 is equal to negative 8 times a, so a is got to be negative 3. Number 14, what are the solutions? First of all, take out all the 3's because who the fuck likes big numbers, right? So take them out. X squared plus 4x plus 2 is equal to 0. Can't factor this shit. You can do quadratic. You can complete the squares. What the hell? Plus or about? I like completing the squares, to be honest. So x squared plus 4x is equal to negative 2. Well, that's going to be x plus 2 squared. So you do plus 4 and plus 4. So that'll be 2. Square root both sides. X plus 2 is equal to plus or minus square root of 2. Go ahead and subtract 2 on both sides. And there you have it. X is equal to negative 2 plus or minus radical 2. Which is answer choice A. Number 15. The equation blah 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 blah. Based on the equation, which of the following must be true? So if you really think about it, if you increase this Fahrenheit by 1, well, your Celsius is not going to go up by 1. It's not, because what happens? Your increase in 1 in the Fahrenheit is actually offset by the multiplier of the 5/9. So technically what happens is, if you bump up the Fahrenheit by 1, your Celsius only goes up by 5/9 because of the 5/9 multiplier. So given that, let's look at some answer choices. 1. A temperature increase of 1 degrees Fahrenheit is equivalent to 5/9 degrees Celsius. That's literally what I just said, right? So that's cool. So if you look at the answer choices, you can take out B and C immediately. So at this point, you're between 1 only versus 1 and 2. So that just probably means 3 is not going to work. So why the fuck would you check that? I'll check it, but I mean, he really shouldn't, right? So a temperature increase of 1 degrees Fahrenheit is equivalent to increase of 1.8 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, for this one, if you were a little bit confused, this is how you can think about it. If we go back to this theory. Fahrenheit goes up by 1, while the Celsius goes up by only 5/9. So more for the Fahrenheit and less for the Celsius. Well, if you really think about it, this one perfectly makes sense, right? Less for the Celsius, more for the Fahrenheit. So that makes sense. So we keep that shit. And then I'll probably circle D and move on. If you want to double check what the fucking choice 3 or the Roman number 3, you can do that. I probably wouldn't. But if you take a look, 5/9 degrees Fahrenheit, 1 degree Celsius, they got that shit mixed up. 3 is not true, so it's got to be 1 and 2 only. Free response, number 16. First of all, take out the x. Boom, 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 boom. So x squared times x squared minus 5 is equal to negative 4. Let's go ahead and distribute that shit. X to the 4th minus 5x squared is equal to negative 4. Move it over to one side, set it equal to 0. X squared minus 5x squared plus 4 is equal to 0. X squared minus 4 times x squared minus 1 is equal to 0. Woo! So x squared is equal to 4, so x is equal to plus or minus 2. And then x squared is equal to 1, so x is equal to plus or minus 1. So 1 or 2 could both work. You can't put negatives because we're on a fucking free response section. You cannot bubble in a negative answer. Number 17. Subtract those two. That'll be 3 over 9x, and that's equal to, I need to add this shit. I need a common denominator, multiply by 3 over 3. So you get 3 over 12 plus 5 over 12. You can reduce that shit. So that'll be 1/3 x is equal to 8 over 12. You can reduce that shit. 1/3 x is equal to 2 over 3. Multiply the whole thing by 3, so cancel the 1/3. And when you do that shit, x is equal to 2. Easy stuff. Next, number 18. Figure out, drawn to scale, 2 isosceles triangle. If 180, whatever shit, man. Y is 75. So can I figure out the z? Absolutely. Just put that shit in right there. So 180 minus z is equal to 2 times 75. So 180 minus z is equal to 150. Subtract 180 on both sides, and you get negative z is equal to negative 30. So z is equal to 30. Is that what I want? Oh, hell no, man. Who the fuck put 30 as your answer? Please don't do that. You want the x right there. Well, if you look at this triangle over here, you know that's isosceles. So 180 minus the top angle 30, you got 150 to work with. Well, it's an isosceles. The two angles better be the same. So split that shit halfway. That gives you 75 degrees. 75 and 75. Who the fuck put 75 as the final answer? It's not, because x is right there. It makes the supplementary 180 degrees with the 75. So you just do 180 minus 75, which is 105. So 105 degrees. All right, number 19. At a lunch stand, each hamburger has 50 more calories than each order of fries. Stop. So H has 50 more than fries. If 2 hamburgers and 3 orders of fries have a total of 1,700 calories, how many calories does a hamburger have? Once again, what I want at the end of the day is something with the H. I want the H. I want to save that shit. So I'll subtract 50 on both sides. And h minus 50 is equal to f. Why did I do that? Because then I'll put that shit in the place of f. So I keep my h. So 2h plus 3 times h minus 50. That's equal to 1,700. So 2h plus, distribute that shit. 3h minus 150 is equal to 1,700. So go ahead and add 150 on both sides. And you get 5h is equal to 1,850. And go ahead and divide this shit by 5, and h would be 370. Okay, there you have it. Hamburger is 370. Number 20, in triangle ABC, measure B is 90 stops, so it's a right triangle. That's a B right there. And BC is 16, I don't know, man, C is 16, and then AC is 20. Okay, that makes sense because 20, the hypotenuse, is supposed to be the longest. Triangle DEF is similar to triangle ABC. So, okay, another one. And then, so A, B, C, D, E, F. So D, E, F in this particular order. And then, yeah, is how to match that shit. And then each side of the triangle DEF is a third of the corresponding triangle. What is the value of sine of F? Okay, so what's sine? Well, first of all, sine of F is right there, right? And sine is opposite over hypotenuse. The only problem is in that other triangle, you ain't got nothing to work with, right? That similar triangle, you got nothing to work with. So what do? Just go to this shit, right? Well, are you going to run down a Pythagorean theorem to figure this shit out? Oh, hell no. If you just cancel the multiples of 4s, that'll be a 5, that'll be a 4, so it better be a 3. But, once again, you got to multiply that 4 back, so that's going to be a 12. So what do you want? Value of sine of F, so sine of right there. Well, I'll just go to the same fucking angle, which is that C right there, and then I'll just take sine right there. Opposite over hypotenuse, so cancel by the 4s, and there you have it, 3 over 5. That's the final answer. Section 3 all done. Let's move it. Section 4. Number 1, the graph, whatever. She stopped for 30 minutes during her hike. Based on the graph, which is far as close to the time she finished lunch and continued her bike. Yeah, I suppose she didn't move. That's probably like right there. And what time did she end? Oh, I don't know. Does that look like a fucking 140 or some shit to you? Yeah, 140 it is. All right, number 2. Table, blah, 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 blah. 25 people, but it's right there, so I'm just going to ignore that shit. If the contest winner will be selected at random, okay, so what is the probability that the winner will be either a female under age 40, stop it. So female under age 40, that'll be 8 people, or a male 40 or older. Male 40 or older right there. So total of 10 people out of 25 it is. Boom. Answer choice B. Number 3, graph. Based on the graph, which of the following best describes a graphical general trend in music albums? Well, I don't know. Shit, man, it kind of goes down, goes up, goes down a little bit, and then, yeah, like kind of stalling-ish, and then going down again. So something about that. So sales generally increase. Now, hell no, man. If anything, generally decrease. So sales generally decrease each year since 19... Yeah, maybe not. C, sales increase until 2000. Wait, 2000 would be 3 years since 1997, which should be like right there. If you guys take a look at it. Yeah, and that is actually increased. And then overall, after that, it generally decreased. Yes, so that seems probably okay. And the sales generally remain steady. Oh, hell no. Everything's all wrong. C it is. All right, number 4, table. Which of the following defines F? Okay, so just put that shit in, right? Or you can figure out the slope if you would like. So rise is a 3, run's a 1, slope should be a 3. Answer choice C. Yep, that's the only thing with the slope of 3. Move on. Enough is enough. Number 5, at Lincoln High School, approximately 7% of the enrolled juniors and 5% of enrolled seniors were inducted to the National Honor Society last year. All right, so if 652 juniors and 102 seniors enrolled at Lincoln High School last year, which of the following is close to the number of juniors and seniors last year who were inducted into the National Honor Society? Okay, so 7% of the juniors and 5% of seniors, right? So what they say, you got 562 juniors. But remember, what do you do with the juniors? Take 7% of it, so 0.07. Man, ain't nobody can do that shit in their head. So if you do that in your calculator, you actually get 39.34. And then, I'm sorry, that seems, oh yeah. And then we have 602 seniors. But only 5% were inducted to the National Honor Society. So just go ahead and grab 602 and then divide it by, and then, 602 times 0.05, and that gives you 30.1. So which of the following is close to the total number of juniors and seniors who were inducted to the National Honor Society? So about 39 and 30, so about 69 it is. Number 6, which of the following is the sum of the two polynomials shown? Literally just add that shit and that will be 8x squared. What the hell is this doing? And then when you add that, that'll be a negative 7x in total, and that's answer choice A. Enough is enough, move on. Number 7, so what is the value of W? Just multiply freaking 5 over 3 on both sides so you can just cancel that shit, right? So that would just be W is equal to 20 over 9, answer choice D. Number 8, the average number of students per classroom, whatever. This is the equation where the X represents the number of years since 2000 and Y represents the average number of students. Which of the following best describes the meaning of the 0.56? Okay, so 0.56 has to do something with the slope, right? So if you think about it, in this particular case, slope is rise over run, which essentially is y over x, which in this case is the average number of students per class over, what is the x again? Number of years, the number of years. So something about how the average number of students per class goes up by 0.56 every year. Something like that, right? So D, the estimated difference, we're not talking about difference. C, the estimated increase in the average number of students per classroom each year. That's perfectly what I said, so that's why C is going to be my best answer. All right, number 9. Nate walks 25 meters in that 13.7 seconds. If he walks at the same rate, which of the following is close to the distance he will walk in 4 minutes? Okay, so 25 meters, 13.7 seconds. Now 4 minutes, I'll probably convert that into seconds because that's the only fair comparison that we're gonna have. So 4 minutes, that'll just be 240 seconds, right? Because each minute is 60 seconds. So if you really think about it, just call that like 14. So from 14 to 240, well, you would need to multiply that shit by what? Like, I don't fucking know. Maybe like, definitely like something like 20 or something. Well, you can actually set up proportions. Like, you really don't have to guesstimate it like this. You just be like 13 seconds, 25 meters, 240 seconds, how many meters? It's just simple proportions. You can just put them into fractions, set them equal, right? And then you can cross multiply to figure it out. My point is, I'm just saying from 13.7 to 240, if you can kind of briefly figure out what the multiplier was for that, well, it's going to be roughly about like times maybe 15, a little more, because I'm just calling that a 14. So about times 15, 16, 17 maybe even. So if you just kind of multiply that by number 15 or 16 or 17 or some shit like that, then you will get something like 430 or something, which is pretty damn close to B. I mean, y'all are allowed to use your calculator, so just why not, right? Y'all can use it. I'm just trying to wing it, right? Sometimes I go on my iPhone to get that math done, but you really shouldn't have to use calculator for a lot of these questions, really. The chart above, blah, 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 blah. W is equal to mg. W is a weight. M is a mass. What the fuck are you talking about? It doesn't matter. G is the acceleration due to gravity. If you're taking physics, you should already know this concept by now. But let's go. So number 10. What is the weight in newtons of an object on Mercury with a mass of 90 kilograms? W is equal to mg. So W is equal to mass 90. Or on Mercury, the acceleration due to gravity is 3.6. If you multiply that shit, should be a little more than 270 because 90 times 3 is 270, but it's a little more than that. And the only thing that is more than 270 is 324 in the answer choices. Number 11, an object on Earth has a weight of 150 newtons. On which planet would the same object have an approximate weight of 170 newtons? Well, if you think about it, well, Earth's got 150 newtons. So let's think about what the mass is going to be. W is equal to mg. So W is 150. Mass, I don't freaking know, but we're on Earth. And if you look at Earth, it's 9.8. Fuck that, I'll just call it 10. Yeah, 9.8, 10, whatever, man. I mean, you can use your calculator if you like. I'm not using it, so divide by 10. And M is equal to 15, right? Maybe a little bit more than 15, but it's okay. And then W is equal to mg once again. This time we're going to do, which planet was it again? I don't fucking know what the planet is. That's what we're trying to guess. But the weight is now going to be 170 for the same mass of 15, but gravity is going to be more than that. So gravity, well, if you divide by 15s on both sides, well, then you're going to get something of a gravity that is definitely bigger than 1. Something like 11 something, and the only thing that is Saturn right there, which is answer choice B. All right, number 12. The function f is 5 distinct zeros. So 5 distinct zeros. So I'm going to start from the bottom. D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That seems pretty cool. There it is. Done. If you look at the other one, C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's got 6. We need to have 5. B's got 1, 2, 3, 4. A's got 1, 2, 3, 4. D's the only thing that's got 5. All right, number 13, the equation, blah, 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 blah. Don't worry any of that jack shit. Basically, you're trying to leave the v alone. So go ahead and add 16t squared on both sides, and then subtract k on both sides. Get that shit out of the way. So 16t squared minus k plus h is equal to vt. And then finally, you want the v alone, so divide by t's on all of these guys. And then when you do that, well, that cancels. So 16t minus k over t plus h over t is equal to what that v is going to be. So what looks like this shit, well, b doesn't look like it's not 16t. And then the minus 16t is absolutely false, so that's out. Same reason then that's out too. If you look at it, that portion right there, well, h minus k over t is right there. And then obviously the 16t, the positive, is right there. That's why answer choice D is correct. All right, number 14, the cost of using a telephone, 0.2 per minute. Which of the following equation represents the total cost for h hours? Okay, so first of all, what we will need to do is h hours. We gotta turn that into you gotta turn that into minutes because we're talking about 20 cents per minute. So I'll be like 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes, and you can basically say 60 h minutes. And then what do you have? You have 20 cents per minute. So when you multiply that shit, cancel, that's what's gonna give you the dollar value. So something about 60h times 0.2, which is answer choice C. A times B times C, C times B times A, it fucking doesn't make any difference. What is that called? Commutative property, or whatever the fucking property it's called. You really don't have to care. All right, next, number 15. Whoa, long ass problem. In order to determine if treatment X is successful, improving eyesight, a research study was conducted, okay? Large group of people with poor eyesight, 300 participants were selected at random. Half of the participants were randomly assigned to receive treatment X, and the other half did not receive treatment X. The resulting data showed that the participant who received treatment X had significantly improved eyesight as compared to those who did not receive treatment X. Based on design and results of the study, which of the following is an appropriate conclusion? So just because, it worked for people that you gave this shit to doesn't necessarily mean like that's going to work for everybody out there, right? So I don't know. With that in mind, let's keep reading one choice at a time. So D, treatment X will cause substantial improvement. I don't fucking know. I mean, it could, but it doesn't have to, right? Well, if you really think about the reason, people who got it, I mean, I don't know, man. Shit, maybe it was a pseudoscience or something. You know what I mean? Like, how do you know for sure that it was a treatment X? I don't know. What if the 150 people that you selected just happened to have naturally good eyesight or something? Like, I don't know, right? Well, I guess, they said large population of people with poor eyesight. Yeah, but the other group wasn't given any sort of a treatment. So you wouldn't know what the hell could have happened to those people had you given the treatment X to those other 150 people. What if you gave it to them, but the other 150 people didn't improve, right? So when they say it will cause, it's kind of extreme. So I won't really cross it out, but I'll just put a little question mark. C, treatment X will improve. That's fucking bad, dude. Like that's just, once again, I don't know if it will. It could. It looks like it might, but I can't say it will though. That's taking it way too far. B, treatment X improves eyesight better than all the, yeah, that's so terrible to say. But look at what A says. Treatment X is likely to improve the eyesight of people who have poor eyesight. Long story short, SAT does not like extreme wordings. If you want to make some conclusion, make it pretty reasonable, right? Don't say shit like, oh, like you take this fucking medicine and you grow to fucking 6 feet and you gonna get like fucking 6 packs, 8 packs by tomorrow. Man, ain't no fucking such thing, right? You gotta be reasonable when you're promoting, I don't know, some dietary plans like that, right? Like if you exercise like this and take these pills, then you are very likely to lose weight. You can't say shit like you will lose weight for sure, because what if fucking somebody does that shit and like does all that and doesn't lose a single pound, right? Happens sometimes. So you can't say like it will do this, it will do that. All you can say is it's likely, like it can, right? So that's why A is correct. Number 16. Graphs of the function f and g are shown for which of the following values of x. So these are your x values. The f of x and g of x, you add them, it's just a 0. If you guys notice, they're basically talking about these 2 points. Where for the f of x, that's going to be a -2. For g of x, that's going to be a +2. So when you add them, well, it gives you a nice little 0, right? So what is the x value there? Well, that would be, 1, 2, so -2 it is. Boom. 17 and 18's got to do with this shit. How will the quantity of product supplied to the market change if the price of the product is increased by $10. So we're talking about supplied. So we're going to go to this equation right there. And then if you increase this by 10, the price, what's going to happen to the quantity supplied? Well, if you notice that increase by 10 is actually offset by the multiply of the 1/2. So this S is actually going to only go up by 5, which is why answer choice B is correct. 18. At what price will the quantity of product supplied to the market equal the quantity demanded? Okay, so just S and D, make them the same. So 1/2 P plus 40, the supplied, is equal to 220 minus P, the demand. Okay, so go ahead and add P on both sides, subtract 40 on both sides. So boom, boom. Well, we'll call it 2 over 2 for common denominator's sake. You get 3 over 2 P is equal to 180. And then multiply both sides by 2 over 3 to cancel that shit. And that would be P is equal to 120. Answer choice B. All right, number 19. Graphene, which is used in manufacturing the integrated circuits, is so thin that the sheet weighing 1 ounce can cover up to 7 football fields. Okay, so 1 ounce, 7 football fields, FF. If a football field has an area of approximately 1 1/3 acres, about how many acres could 48 ounces of graphene cover? Okay, so if you think about it, well, if the football field has that much, well, how many acres could the 48 ounces of graphene cover? So if you think about it, 48 ounces could actually cover, well, if you set up the proportion like this, well, that would be times 48. So you would just do times 48. Or you can cross multiply and figure it out if you would like. Then you get 336 football fields, right? But that's not acres though, right? You know, 1 football field is got 4/3, I'll just call it, acre. Then now what you have, 336 football field, is how many acres? Once again, you can cross multiply if you would like, but so you would do like this and then cross multiply. So X is equal to whatever that should multiply. So when you do that, you should get 448, which is goddamn close to 450. Just circle that shit and move on. All right, number 20. Michael swam 2,000 yards. Everything else can go. For the swim that took 34 minutes, Michael's actual heart rate was about how many beats per minute than the rate predicted by the line in best fit. Okay, so we go to 34 minutes mark right there, which is going to be, yeah, right there. And if you notice, the actual is sitting at, I think that's 148 because each tick is supposed to be a 2. And then the predicted would be right there, exactly 150. So what is the difference? It's a 2 that the actual heart rate was 2 beats per minute less than the rate of the best fit. I'm sorry, the rate of the rates predicted by the line of best fit. I'm sorry about that. And then number 21, of the following 4 types of savings account plans, which option would yield exponential growth of the money account? Exponential growth, so you want to multiply by a certain percentage, not like the same shit amount every year or every whatever, just like the linear would, right? The huge difference is linear is something that you gain, the gaining same fucking amount every time, but exponential is you're gaining different amount every time. It's as simple as that. So D, each successive year, 100 is added. That's called linear. You get the same shit, same amount every time. C, each successive year, 1%, I like the 1% of the current value is added to the value of the account. Yeah, I like that. B, each successive year, 1.5% of the initial savings. Initial savings is a fixed number. So if you take 1.5% of a fixed number, well, that will be a fixed number. And if you're getting that shit every time, well, that's called linear. You're getting the same fucking amount every time. That's called linear. A, each successive year, 2% of the initial savings. Once again, initial savings, that's going to be a fixed amount. So that's not going to be exponential growth. So C is the exponential growth. Number 22, the sum of the 3 numbers is 855. One of the numbers X, okay, so X, I'll just call it X plus Y plus Z is equal to 855. One of the numbers X is 50% more, so 1.5, 150%. Then the sum of the other 2 numbers, so X, Y plus Z. So you'll solve something like this. Yeah, and then what is the value of x? So you want to solve for the x. What you could do is you can divide by 1.5 on both sides. But Stephen, why would you do that? Because then you get y plus z is equal to x divided by 1.5. And you can put that shit right there for the yz together. It gets rid of that whole shit. So that'll be x plus x over 1.5 is equal to, what was the number again? 855. And then so go ahead and multiply the whole thing by 1.5. So that'll be 1.5x plus x when you distribute is equal to 855. So 855 times 1.5, that gives me 1282.5. So 2.5x is equal to 1282.5. Go ahead and divide by 2.5 on both sides. And when you do that, you get x is equal to, 1282.5 divided by 2.5. And then you're going to get 513 to be exact, which is answer choice B. That's how you solve that. Number 23, angles shown, blah, acute angle, sine of A, cosine B. If A is that and B is that shit, what is the value of K? Well, if you guys notice, if you just draw a little right triangle like that, or something like that, right? The point is this, sine of A is equal to cosine of B, right? So sine of A is opposite of hypotenuse, that opposite over hypotenuse. Well, it better be the same shit as the cosine of B. So I go to B, which is adjacent to like right there over hypotenuse. Basically, these two triangles, if you kind of just like flip that shit down. So what I mean by that is keep the same one as is. So A is facing that way. But for this one, the second one right here, I'm going to fucking flip it. I'll flip it like this and then put it down like this. If anybody can see, what I'm trying to say is it's going to be something like this. And then this is how I flip it, if this makes sense. And then the B is going to stay in there. So basically, if you notice, the A is basically corresponding to over here. And then the B corresponds to over here. So what they're saying is A is this and B is this. What is the value of K? What do you know about the green angle and the blue angle together? Well, they better add up to 90, right? So you can say A plus B is equal to 90. So A is 4K minus 22, and then plus B 6K minus 13, and that is 90. So that'll be 10K minus 35 is equal to 90. Add 35 on both sides, and you get 10K is equal to 125. Divide by 10s on both sides. So you get 12.5, answer choice C. Number 24, Mr. Cole has a beaker containing N milliliters of solution to distribute to students in his chemistry class. Cool story, bro. We got N mils. If he gives three students, each student 3 milliliters of solution, he'll have 5 left over. Stop. So minus 3 S for each student. If he just gives it out, then he got 5 left. In order to give each 4 mils of solution, stop, so N minus 4S this time, he will need an additional 21 milliliters. He is 21 milliliters short. So that would be negative 21. How many students? So you are solving for the S, right? So you're solving for the S. So let me just go ahead and just multiply this shit by negative. So that'll be, the N's cancel, negative 3S plus 4, so that's just S. And then 5, and that would be positive 21. So that's 26. There you have it. S is 26. Number of students is 26. All right, number 25. A grain silo, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to read that jack shit of the following, which is close to the volume. Volume of, well, you got a cone and then another cone at the bottom, and then you got that little cylinder. Well, gladly, the front of the packet tells you everything about it. So I'm going to start with the cone first, right? That little cone, the front of the packet tells you 1/3 pi r squared h. Well, here we go. So the volume of this guy will be 1/3 pi, radius is a 5 squared times the height, which is a 5, right? So if you punch that shit in, I'll just punch it into my calculator too, because I can't do that in my head. 125 divided by 3 times 3.45. And then, so I got a volume of 131, I'll just call it. So that should be 131 down there too. So now I just need the volume of the the cylinder right there. So cylinder, that part. And then that cylinder volume is pi r square h. The front of the packet tells you that. So pi r, well, the radius is a 5 squared times the height. So that will be 250 pi. So, which if you do that in, your calculator, then you will get something like 785. So you have that 785, and then 2 of these together, which is 262 on top of that shit. So it should be a little bit over 1,000, and that's going to be answer choice D. Yeah, if you add this, that's going to be exactly 1047, which matches that shit. Once again, do not round until the very end, because if you start rounding too early, you might actually mess up. Number 26, in the xy plane, the line determined by these 2 points passes through the origin, okay? Which of the following could be the value of k? So you can actually take slope separately with a 0, 0. What I mean by that is, if you do slope between these two, what you can say is 0 to k, the rise is k, 0 to 2, the run is 2. So that's what the slope is, right? And you can do the same shit over here, where it would say 0, 0, and then k and 32. So basically, rise is a 32 and run is a k. Do I give a jack shit about this? Absolutely, because we're talking about slope, right? We're talking about linear slope. Linear slope is constant all throughout. So basically, that slope and this slope right here, slope must equal slope, because slope is constant in a linear goddamn equation. So what can you say? K over 2 is equal to 32 over k. Cross multiply, k squared is equal to 64. Square root both sides, k is equal to plus or minus 8. Number 27. A rectangle is altered by increasing its length by 10% and decreasing its width by p%. So let's just come up with a rectangle. And I'll just assign some numbers too. I just like this is 20 and this is 10. And then it says length increased by 10%. So let's make that 11 now. And decreasing its width by p%. I don't fucking know what happens. So I'll just be like x. And then if these alterations decrease the area of the rectangle by 12%, stop it. So the area was 200 before. And if you decrease by 12%, that means it is now 88% of the original. So what you would do is you grab that 200 and multiply by 0.88, and you would get 176. So if you think about it, x times 11 should give you 176. So if you just divide by 11 on both sides, you get x is equal to 16. So the x would now be 16 like that. So what happened to the width? It went from 20 to 16. So 20 to 16, 16 divided by 20, well, that would be 4/5, which is 0.8. Meaning, if that's 100%, that's going to be 80%. So it went down from here to here by 20%. Answer choice C. Number 28, in planning maintenance for a city's infrastructure, the civil engineer, blah, 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 decrease by 10% every 20 years. So it becomes 0.9, and then 0.9, and then 0.9 every time, right? Okay, so clearly looks like not A and B. It's got to be either C or D. And then we start with 50,000, so they all have that here. The question is every 20 years apart. So if you kind of think about it, let's just say it's been 40 years. You know, I'm just assuming some case scenario. It becomes, it decreases by 10% every 20 years. So if it's been 40 years, well, 20 years decrease once, another 20 years decrease twice. So in 40 years of a span, it should have decreased twice. So what you could do is put the 40 back in, and then see which one looks like it's decreasing twice. If you look at D, that's 0.9 to the power of 2, decreasing twice. That's why answer choice D is correct. Or if y'all remember from your pre-calc algebra, whatever the hell it was, every time they say some shit like every 20 years and shit, it's normally all just divided by. Number 29. God damn, it's so long, so I'm not going to read that first sentence. There are 5 times as many right-handed female students as there are left-handed female students. Stop it. So I'll go to female, and I'll just be like, 5 times as many right-handed, so 5F, and then I'll call that F. And then there are 9 times as many right-handed male students as there are left-handed male students. Stop it. So I'll call it M, and I'll call it 9M. And then if they're total, yeah, I see that all in the table. Which of the following is close to the probability that a right-handed student selected at random? Stop. So we're only picking from the right hand, which is out of 122, are going to be female. So 5F is what we're trying to solve for. Okay, this is simple systems of equations. You can grab that and be like f plus m is equal to 18. And then you can grab that and be like f5f plus 9m is equal to 122. And all you got to do is just solve for, in this case, I want the f. So what I'll do is I'll grab this shit and multiply by negative 9. So then you get negative 9f minus 9m is equal to 18 times 9. And that's negative 162. Cancel that shit. Negative 4f is equal to negative 40. So f is equal to 10. Boom. So I'm done? Oh, hell no. You put that shit back in right there. F is 10. So that expression becomes 50 over 122. So if you punch that shit into your calculator, then you're going to get 0.4098360 on and on and on and on, which is answer choice A, 0.410. All right, number 30. B and C are constants. Cool story, bro. If B is C minus 1/2, stop. So B is C minus 1/2, which of the following is true. If you look at all the answer choices, they all have X's and Y's, so we kind of have to play with this. I'm going to grab this one first and be like 3x plus B is equal to 5x minus 7. You can subtract 3x on both sides, and that will give you B is equal to 2x minus 7. And then do this one. 3y plus c is equal to 5y minus 7. Subtract 3y on both sides, and you get c is equal to 2y minus 7. So what you could do is put that shit over there, put that shit over there, and you're good to go. So 2x minus 7 is equal to 2y minus 7 minus 1/2. Just go ahead and add 7s and get that shit out of the way. So 2x is equal to 2y minus 1/2. You want x is something, so go ahead and divide all the shit by 2's. So x is equal to y minus 1/4, which is answer choice A. Alright, so we're done with the multiple choice. Let's go to free response. Number 31. Tickets for a school talent show cost $2 for students and $3 for adults. So, okay. If Chris spends at least $11 but no more than $14 on X student ticket and one adult ticket, stop it. So at least 11 but no more than 14. But we already spent one adult ticket, which is $3. So let's go ahead and subtract that shit. And you got $8 to $11 to work with. And it's $2 for each student, so I'll call it 2S for however many students. What is one possible value of X? Oh, well, I guess we can call that X. So if you think about it, X could be a 4, and that would be 8, so that would fit right in between. And then the X could also be a 5, because that would be a 10, and 10 fits in between 8 and 11, but it can't be 6, because that would be a 12, and it will not be less than or equal to 11. So only 5 or 6. Number 32, table, blah, blah, blah. According to the table, what was the mean age of the presidents at the beginning of their terms? So mean, how do we find mean? Just add all that shit and divide by, this is how many? 12 United States United States presidents. So let's just add them all. 56, 57, 62, 58, 58, 59. This is stupid. 59, 58, and then 62, 55, 68, 51, 50, and 65. And then just divide that shit by 12. And then I got 58.583333. So round your answer to the nearest tenth. So 58.6 it is going to be. Just do it in your calculator. Number 33, expression rewritten in that form. Okay, let's do it. So, first of all, distribute the freaking signs. So, it'll be negative 3x squared plus 5x minus 2 minus 2x squared plus 4x plus 2 when you distribute all the signs nicely. So, negative 3x minus 2x squared, so that'll be negative 5x squared. And then plus 5x and 4x or 9x, and then the minus 2 plus 2, they just cancel. So this is what you get. So what is the value of b? It's probably 9, the one in front of the x, right? All right, so that's what that b is going to be, a 9. All right, number 34, and the circle center O. Stop. So circle center O. Central angle AOB has got a measure of 5 pi over 4 radians. I'll just grab whatever, man, and you call that 5 pi over 4 radians. Is it an exact picture? Probably not, but who gives a shit? The area of the sector formed by the central angle AOB, so area of this shit, the pizza slice right there, is what fraction of the area of the whole circle? If you really think about it, well, that is 5 pi over 4 worth of a portion. Out of what? The entire fucking circle. The entire circle is how many radians? It's 2 pi. Wait, you forgot? It's in the fucking front of the packet. It says on the bottom, the degree measure of a circle is 360 degrees. The radian measure of the circle is 2 pi. Like, they literally give it to you. So, cancel the fucking pi's. So, 5 over 4 divided by 2, which is 5 over 8. Alright, so number 35. Online store receives customer satisfaction ratings from between 0 to 100 inclusive. The first 10 ratings the store received, the average was 75. Stop. How do you find average? You just add them up, so sum, divide by number of shit, and then that's the average. So let's think about the first case scenario. The average was 75 for 10 ratings. Sum, I don't know, but can I find it? Absolutely. Multiply by 10 on both sides, and so the sum was 750. What were all the individual ratings? I don't fucking know, but the whole point is when you add them up is 750. What is the least value the store can receive for the 11th rating? So still be able to have an average of at least 85 for the first 20 ratings. So you can think of it this way. Imagine I'm just like fucking annoyed, right? Like I'm one of your team members, and I'm just fucking annoyed today. So I'm just like shitting on all the customers that are calling me right now. Okay, so I'm gonna fuck up my rating, and therefore I'm sorry, but I'm gonna ruin all of y'all's average because I'm part of your team. So what do you guys need to do in order to cover my ass so we can, as a team, we can have that the rating of at least 85 for the first 20 ratings? Well, this is how you would think about it. So the first 10 is already 750. This is the first 10, right? That's the sum of the first 10. You can't change that shit. That is what it is. And then 11th guy is me right there. Well, the one who's fucking up the whole entire team. And then the rest of you guys, the 9 people, right? The rest of 9 people, because a total of 20 people right now, right? And that's me right there. So what do you guys need to do, knowing that you know I'm gonna fuck up on my ratings? So I'll ruin the whole team average, but we fucking still need to get that 85. So what do you guys need to do in order to cover my ass? You better do the fucking best you can, the very best you can, because you know I'm gonna fuck up, and therefore I'm gonna ruin everybody's average. I will lower the whole team's score overall. So you guys better do really well to cover my ass up. So what's the definition of really well? Well, they told you it goes from 0 to 100. So y'all better do, every fucking single one of you better do 100 out of 100 in case I fuck up super hardcore, right? So what I'm gonna assume is every one of you 9 people, each person should get all 100. So there's why. That's why I'm going to call it 900. 9 people, 900. Every one of you 9 people got all perfect scores. And then that will be the entire grand total. And then you would divide that by 20. And we want that to be 85. Does this make sense to everybody? So when you add that shit, well, first of all, let's multiply by 20 on both sides. Cancel. So 1650 plus box is equal to, that'll be 1700. Go ahead and subtract 1650 on both sides. And there you go. Box is equal to 50. Meaning, yeah, if y'all can get all 100s, all of you 9 people right there, the 10 people already got 750 in total. We can't do anything about those 10 people. All of you 9 people, if y'all do 100 out of 100, I can fuck up as bad as a 50 out of 100, and we'll still have 85 as the team average overall. That's basically what the question was saying. Number 36, in the XY plane, if a point with coordinate A, B lies in the solution set, what is the maximum possible value of B? So let's just draw that shit. You really don't have to draw the very exact picture, but something like, I don't know, man, 3,000, and it's a negative steep slope, so something like this, I don't fucking know. And then the Y is less, so you would color the bottom of the portion. And then Y is less than 5x, so that's a positive slope, something like this. I'm going to draw a little bit flatter just because this 5x should be flatter than the 15. And then Y is still less again, so I'll color the bottom of the portion. And as y'all can see, the solution is right there, right? And then what are they asking? They want the maximum possible value of B. So B is the Y value. If you are stuck in this green region, but you want to be as big of a Y value as you would possibly want to be, well, the highest you can ever come up will be like right there, the point of intersection. Does everybody see that? So basically, you would grab that inequalities up there and just, you know, turn them into an equation, because we're not really doing inequality. So you do negative 15x plus 3,000 is equal to 5x. So go ahead and add 15x on both sides, and you get 3,000 is equal to 20x. Divide by 20 on both sides, and there you have it. X is equal to 150. So the answer is, yeah, 150. No, answer is not 150, right? Because once again, the question is asking for what is the value of B. X is the A, right? That's not the B. So what do we do with this shit? You gotta plug it back in. Either this one or this one. You know what? That's much easier, right? Y is equal to 5x. So y is equal to 5 times 150, and that will give you 750. That is the answer, not the 150. 150 is not your answer. That is the value of A, the X value of the point of intersection, not the Y value, the B that the question is asking for. All right, 3730 is a goddamn long question. It's not as bad as it looks, so let me show you how this is done. I'm just gonna go R shoppers per minute, whatever the fuck that means. T minutes, and N is, what the fuck is N? The average number of shoppers in the store. Okay, so whatever, Little's Law. What the fuck is Little's Law? Okay, anyway. So the owner of Good Deal store, 3 shoppers per minute. Oh shit, that's the R. That's the R right there. And then 15 minutes. Yeah, that's the T right there. And then 45 shoppers in the store. That's the N right there. Wait, so hold on. Let me just double check to see like if that makes any sense. They told me that N is equal to RT. So N's 45 and R they said is a 3. T is 15. Oh, that matches. Okay, cool. I get the point. Here we go. Number 37. Little's Law can be, yeah. 84 shoppers per hour. Well, stop. We're not going to take that. Because it's 84 shoppers per hour. That's not what you want though. The question said it's got to be in per minute. So let's change that shit. 1 hour is 60 minutes. I'm putting the hour on the top so you can cancel it like that. So basically just divide that shit. And then so 84 divided by 60, you get 1.4 shoppers per minute. Okay, that's what I like, right? Shoppers per minute. And what is that shit again? That's the R. Okay. And then what else? 5 minutes. So T would be 5. So what do they want? At any time during, how about how many shoppers? Yeah, we just want the N. N is equal to RT. So R is 1.4, T is 5. Multiply that shit, you get 7. That's the answer. Easy. It's not as bad. You don't have to read the whole thing. You can just pay attention to the keywords. Number 38. The owner of the Good Deal store opens a new store across town. Cool story. For the new store, the owner estimates that during the business hours, an average of 90 shoppers per hour. Oh, man, these douchebags do that shit again, man. Let's change it again. 90 shoppers per hour. We got to change that shit into, well, why did I write it like that? 90 shoppers per hour. You'd go 1 hour is 60 minutes. Once again, hour on the top so they cancel. And that'll give you 1.5 shoppers per minute. And now I like that. And that's going to be your R. And then stays for 12 minutes. So T is equal to 12. Okay, so let's find the N now. N is equal to RT. So R is 1.5, T is 12, so that would be 18. Is that the answer? I don't know. The average number of stores in the new store is at any time is what percent less than the average shoppers in the original store? Oh, so we started at 45, but now it's 18, right? This is the original store, and then this is your new store. So what's the percent decrease? Just do 18 divided by 45. Which is going to be, if you cancel 2/5, so like 0.4, meaning if this is 100%, that's a 40%, so it went down by 60%. So what do they want? Yeah, if your answer is 42.1%, right, 42.1. Yeah, so I got it. 60 is my answer then. 60%, 60 is my answer. And that wraps up the entire section 3 and 4 of the practice test number 3.